Hello, so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be doing 3 videos, and I'm going to split this up into little tiny segments, but we're going to be looking at the Ron Toye interview. It was done on the actual podcast of Cressidia Homes the other on the weekend, and we're going to have a look at the Knuckleheads one now. So we're going to get into it, and we're going to see.
Joe, Ron?
Hey, how's it going, you guys? And
good afternoon, Mr. Toye.
Hey.
How you doing today?
Doing well.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, we were just talking briefly before you came in about the online experience for conventions now because of COVID-19, and so we're transitioning into the new topic here that we have you on. But yeah, so for the folks that might not know you, which I don't know how many of those would be, why don't you just introduce yourself briefly?
Yeah, I'm Ron, a loan officer here in Dallas, and you all probably know that there's other stuff that has happened throughout the year, but yeah, Monica's my fiance, and yeah, just here to answer any questions you have.
Right on.
Awesome.
Well, before we jump into the main event, I do want to just ask you a couple things, so we can wrap up this topic before we move on. Do you yourself go to many conventions?
Usually 5 to 10 a year, maybe, with Monica.
Okay,
that's cool.
Yeah. Do you just hang out with your fiance, or do you go into go into the panels and stuff like that?
That's a great question. So it really depends on the situation, and also where and when it is, who's there, who's on it, things like that. A lot of times when I first started going, I had never been to one before. And then now that I've kind of gotten a little bit more used to the scene and used to the people, it's kind of changed, but it really depends on what the panel is. But if I do, I usually either sit in the back or, on the front to listen and join in on the panel discussion sometimes.
That's cool.
That's awesome. All right. So I guess you've been a part of some of the fan experiences then, like the impromptu things that you just can't really script. So in your opinion, what would you think of just conventions going strictly digital?
There is a couple of things that I think that really does help. There's a lot of fans that can't make it to conventions, either physically or some of them have agoraphobia or different things that prevent them from going. And so I think it opens up a new avenue for people to be able to experience and interact with the celebrities that they like from their home, where they feel comfortable.
So we're not going to jump straight into it, obviously.
The public and live events won't stop. I feel like it is a nice embrace for the future of conventions, pushing towards the online opportunities that are out there.
Well, I agree too. I mean, that was something that that myself and Mr. Hoppe here were implementing in the convention that we run. We were actually just test driving it this year, and yeah, hopefully going to have it next year in a bigger capacity. Give people a chance to get interactive when they otherwise wouldn't be able to, or wouldn't be able to come in. So I guess that transitions fairly well to our next topic here. Because some people can be embroiled in a bit of drama. Sometimes they might not want to show up in person. Sometimes they might not want to see a person that's there or whatever else.
Right.
So, so you yourself have been in a bit of a pickle, I guess, over this past year.
Now we're doing it. Now we're getting into it.
Yeah. So, just if there's anything that you want to say briefly before we get into questions, did you want to just give us a brief summary of that?
Really, it's just, I think, been a lot of different things, obviously heated on either side of the spectrum, but really hoping that some middle ground and just communication can help calm some of the extremes on both sides. Because I think I listened to one of your streams earlier, Cress, and I really appreciate your approach towards just education and discussion rather than condemnation and strife. And, some of the times I've been really vocal, obviously. And
I'm going to pause it by there for a moment. So, with him saying that there, to me and to a lot of people as well, he's saying that, he's been vocal. He wants a middle ground. He wants to talk. Well, we're all for talking. However, when you've been saying for over a year now, obviously we're coming up to a year and a half, that when you say all these things and then you keep telling people, oh yeah, you're wrong, we know what's going on, and you're doing this, you're doing that, but whatever I say is right. Again, he's trying to cover his ass straight away with this, and I can see with Cress and obviously Mr. Hoppe, they are trying to be like, right, okay then, well, what's your view on this, and this is what it is. But let's listen, and let's see what happens now.
I can be mean sometimes, rude, and other sides, but hopefully, like we go, as the things move forward, it just comes back down to a real position of just humans talking, having maybe differences of opinions, but still continuing to be decent to each other and open to discussion. So that's all I have to say really about the overview of it all, is that I'm here, I'm a human, and I'm willing to talk with anybody, and nobody has to, I don't care if somebody has one opinion or the other. If they're decent and just want to talk, cool, I don't mind it. And that's where I've always been.
Okay.
And I think sometimes
No, you haven't.
Either side gets painted in a horrible light, where if you talk to them on a face-to-face level, it's not the same persona. And so I wanted to give opportunities to people who might be on the other side a chance to talk to me, not to change their opinion, but just to see that I'm just as human as anyone else, you know?
Oh, of course. And like, I think that's a great point. And I mean, I'm sure you've seen the other videos and where we stand on the situation and everything else like that. So the reason why I wanted to reach out to you was very much that, like, I wanted to see, because like on the other side of the fence here, we don't really see or hear what happens to yourself or your friends. And I just wanted to, like, I personally would like to know, like, what kind of things have you been dealing with, say, offline? Because we all see what's been happening online, and that's that's pretty public, right?
Right.
So, like, what's been happening to you offline?
So that's a great question, and I appreciate, you know, just the opportunity for you to bring me on your show and have the chance to talk to you guys and your audience and you, Cress, like just the way you position things and help educate. And I did watch some of the positive stuff from your convention that you guys did, and it looked like it was very positive.
Oh, it was wonderful.
Yes, it was.
And I'm happy to see the fans getting an opportunity to enjoy an event.
So, he's saying there that he liked watching it, this, that, and the other, but we've all seen exactly what he does. He absolutely detests VM. We know this. And him and even his other people, you know, they were trying to get Kitchener Comic Con cancelled, you know, because VM. And again, it's the way this has gone so far, and say we're only 15 minutes or so into the actual conversation, which is only about 5 or 6 minutes of him being online, and he is literally saying, oh no, we're this, we're that, I'm good, I'm a nice person, really. Offline, you know, you can do what you want offline, you know, and this, like they were saying, when you're online, everything is public. But if he wants to have a conversation with someone, why does he block people? That's one. Secondly, you know, everyone has seen the comments in my videos where he is literally saying, you know, he's trying to save his own skin. And obviously, I said this in the last video about him as well. On Twitter, he's had Renfamous, he's had Dominic Sky, he's had Mars Girl, all these people helping him and defending him. But all of a sudden now, because he's gone on the farms and he's gone on YouTube making comments on both sites, they're not really sticking up for him. No one's there for him anymore because they know, like, oh, it's not Twitter. We can't get away with stuff like we can on Twitter. But it's very interesting to see how he's actually responding to these. And I'm pretty sure I know what's going to happen with these other answers. The way he's going to say is like, you know, but we'll see if I am going to be correct.
I'm sorry, like, from my mouth, I'm sorry that anyone ever harassed your event. I can't change and speak for everyone, but I hope that you could probably see that I never contacted anyone there because I don't agree with that type of behavior.
So, first of all, number one lie straight away. He doesn't agree with that type of behavior for cancelling a Comic-Con convention. This guy rang up and sent emails, text messages to Kamea-Con. Get rid of VM or we're not coming. So, again, just for that there, which is, again, Cress is, you know, we have been speaking about this as well. But to a lot of people now, he is literally, that's a bald-faced lie. Straight away. He's lying to people now, and he's doing it face-to-face.
While there was a chant, it's for the fans. It is a lot of times for the fans and for the attendees and for the guests that are there. And that's where I think a lot of the misconception has happened. And it's in the court documents. I said this very clearly in some of the tweets that they had said were defamatory, was that, it looks like he's done some of the things that needed to be and changed some stuff. And it looks like you guys had a very successful event. No drama.
We did. And one of the few things from my end of things is that I really do appreciate the apology, because basically putting a free event like this, especially in the regional Waterloo, is not an easy task into itself, because both the stress of both on a financial level as well as a social level is quite substantial into itself, let alone the extra pressure of bringing in a larger guest name or anything else like that. But however, the bottom line is we all had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We basically put it all together for our 6th year. And at the same time, there's something we give to the community, because we do believe in a form of community, plus on top of that, generating opportunities. And again, you're absolutely correct. It was a lot of fun, and it was a really good time from whom came to our event.
Right. And the thing about it is, and I said this in my things as well, that, while I can have a personal feeling about a person, doesn't mean that I think everyone else should have the same point of view.
It's going to be a lot of this by the looks of things. We got tweets of this man saying, why are you defending such and such a thing? Why are you defending a man who's this? Why are you defending a man who's that? And all these words, begin with a P, end in "il." You got the saying that he ends in "ist," begins with "I." He said all these things. And he literally said it to people online. We have those tweets. I've made videos. Hero, Tug, Yellow Flash, SG, everyone has made videos on those tweets of Ron saying, why are you defending this person? He's you're wrong. And I can see that with this interview and this podcast, I'm going to get a little bit heated. I can see that. But we'll just carry on watching it and see where he goes from here.
Because, I'll probably get yelled at for saying this. But it's in the court record, so I can say whatever is in the court record. I honestly do feel like he'll do whatever it takes to be where he needs to be for his fans, because he does love his fans. It's very clear.
Yes.
And so whatever happens with the lawsuit, I'm pretty confident that his determination to do whatever it takes to be able to come and visit with them, he'll do it.
And connect with them and stuff like that.
Them. Yeah, it's very evident. And that's where I hate the fact that a lot of things have been twisted, where it's like, want him dead and all these other things, because it's just not accurate. I can say I want to fight the person in a tweet from a long time ago, because that was a personal opinion back then. But that doesn't mean I hate the dude or don't want or wouldn't ever consider any level of communication professionally with the person. It's a dichotomy in any relationship, that you can be upset at somebody for something, but also not want them to be completely destroyed or never respected again.
Oh my God. Seriously now. You know what? I could just see Cress. She's probably laughing her ass off behind her actual image there, because, well, this guy, I don't like, I don't never say I didn't not like him, but I want to fight him. Yeah, because you want to fight your friends all the time. Oh my God, I'm telling you, man. This is going to become insane.
It's a challenge, but it's possible, I'm sure there's been people that you've not liked at some point, but then it wouldn't be like you hate them and never want to see them to succeed ever in life,
Well, there's been a lot of emotions over the past, however many months, I think 16 months or something at this point. But there's been a lot of emotion that's been going on. So one thing I just did want to ask while it's still fresh here, is it sounds like your tone now has changed a lot dramatically from what it was.
100% changed.
Is there, what is your opinion right now? Because looking at what you said before in your tweets and everything else like that, it seems like you've kind of changed your opinion about things. Is that the case?
Well, it's kind of there's different tones in different types of tweets. If somebody's like, some of the tweets, a lot of people mentioned,
never asked
there were people
that.
coming at me saying certain things and horrible, deplorable things about Monica and about me, and assumptions based on things that might have been exaggerated and pushed on them from other sources. And that's where it's kind of gotten a little bit blown up and confused, and words put in our mouths, in my mouth specifically, about what I actually think and believe. And so what I honestly, it's been consistent. I feel like, you know, based on what his original statement was, that he was going to do the things that everybody, that I was hoping and everyone else was hoping, which is evident. You can see photos where his posture is different with fans, his demeanor and things like that. And that's where another part is confusing. It's not just about that, like the interaction with fans. That's not necessarily the thing that this was supposed to be about. It was just more, whenever I mention those things, it's to show that if there was a concern about reputation, knowing that these things could bring some level of heat on you, why continue to do them and then sue for a diminished reputation? And that's where I felt like maybe he possibly was taken advantage of in a moment where he's probably terrified. And that's unfortunate, because when we fought to keep everything open, we knew that my past divorce stuff would be potentially coming out. And I don't.
He didn't fight to keep everything open. They filed a document saying they wanted everything to be closed and sealed. So, again, I can see where this is going. So I'm going to end the video in a moment, so we will start it up again. But the way he is talking so far, like Cress said, I can see that he has his mindset could be changed. However, this is coming from someone who we have seen that he's tried in the past to be a manipulator. We have even seen the therapist come out and say these things to him as well, which he didn't like, because the therapist literally gave his analysis of Ron, and it was perfect down to the T. Everything that was said was correct. But in this podcast, in this interview here, you can see he's like, oh, well, no, people have got it wrong. I'm actually a really nice guy. This has happened because words were put into my mouth. Ron, they weren't put into your mouth. We have seen tweets from you, which people still have, saying that you wanted to get rid of VM from KamehamehaCon. You said that you wanted him gone. You said you wanted his career gone. You all said that, oh, I'll extend an olive branch if he apologizes. He did, but then you came out and said that you didn't think it was genuine. So even if he did do something that you asked of him, you didn't come and do it. And when you think of it like that, that just goes to show that you really haven't changed much from what you're saying that you have, because you haven't. But it's very interesting that this is going, that this happened, because a lot of people thought, myself included, that Ron wouldn't actually turn up for this interview. But I think because everyone's in lockdown, he's like, oh, I've got nothing else to do, I might as well do it, and I'll try and get my point across, which is fair enough. Like I've always said it, opinions, everyone's got one. Everyone can do it, everyone can say what they want. But when you get people who are saying, oh, well, things were put into my mouth. No, Ron, you said that you personally knew over 100 women who confided in you, saying that VM did all these horrible things to him. Why hasn't that come through in this part of the interview so far with the question that was asked of you? Because you haven't really answered the question that Cress asked. But we're going to finish the video by there, and we will pick it up later. So if you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell for future updates. And I'll see all you wonderful people soon.